Fallout 76's biggest update yet. How bad, really, is it?
Fallout 76's next update just went to testing on the public test server, and I genuinely believe this may end up becoming the best update this game has ever gotten, or at the very least, the best update since Wastelanders. That one added in dialogue choices, which is going to be kind of hard to top, and the main reason I'm so excited.
Imagine your best update in the game is an update that gave you dialogue options because previously dialogue options didn't even exist. Man, that is such a hard pill to swallow.
It is Fallout 76's Skyline Valley update is going to explore a uniquely Appalachian story. Instead of getting yet another Brotherhood of Steel questline, instead we're getting something completely unique. This will involve a fresh vault opening, the first time a vault's really opened in Appalachia at all, and some unique vault dwellers are going to enter into the world and we'll have to—
Wow, this honestly though, I have to say, this does look better than expected. Look at this. It almost as passable as modern day graphics. Almost. Not quite there yet, but almost.
To take them on and explore their story. This will involve things like weather control, perhaps even meeting the Enclave, as well as the Mothman cultists are finally going to have a role in a major Fallout story. This update genuinely looks incredible.
Just one more step in Fallout becoming a horror series, not actually a apocalypse survival game. Nice.
To me, and these new Fallout TV show themed displays will make your walls look incredible as well. Display offer down below. But looking back at this new Fallout 76 update, this is shaping up to be a major one. Skyline Valley just entered into testing on Fallout 76's public test server. You can download the PTS for yourself on Steam as long as you own Fallout 76, but the full update will be dropping in June. This update is bringing a lot to the game. It's the very first map expansion we've ever got for Fallout 76. Yeah, it took almost 6 years, but Fallout 76's map is finally going to get a bit bigger. The new region we'll be exploring is Shenandoah Valley, based off the real-life Shenandoah National Park. To go along with this, there are also a plethora of new locations to explore, which is mostly what we're going to be talking about in this video. Within these locations, you'll find the clues of this new major questline that's being added. And in addition, there's even going to be 2 new events, a new repeatable public event, but also a new boss tier event that can be triggered by a nuke blast. And that still isn't—
Oh, this is a special boss. Obviously, it looks too good to just be a normal creature added into the game. Well, put your bets on how buggy the AI is gonna be. Is it gonna be as bad as the Scorched, where they just randomly don't move or then go melee in range with you while they have guns? It's gonna be great.
Everything, there are a few other goodies scattered throughout. I won't be giving you any major spoilers for this one if you're excited to play it for yourself, because while the New World portion of this update is out right now in the PTS, the actual—
By the way, I like the dedication. They just applied a red-ish looking filter over the base game, and there you go. Enjoy. The Bethesda quality never ceases to amaze me.
actual questline isn't added in yet. That is dropping in a couple of weeks in May. I'll make a full video on that one, so make sure to get subscribed whenever that comes. And you can get a pretty rough idea of what this main questline story is going to be based off what was added in-game. There are some NPCs to talk to already, but also thanks to the Fallout 76 data mining community, which does have a bit of background on what the main story will entail. So again, no spoilers, but firstly, a brief overview of what this questline's all about. So of course, we are going to a completely new section of Fallout 76's map. Now, the south side of the map has been expanded with a new region, and here we're finally going to be getting—
Wait, that's it? Wait, is this really it? This small crack, essentially this, you can probably not even go here, can you? And probably there's nothing here. So this is it. This is actually it, huh? Because this is the bottom of the map with the bear and with this. Okay, great. That is way smaller than I anticipated. Wow, okay.
expanded with a new—
Well, I guess it's fine. The average Bethesda fanboy is gonna tell you that you need 3,000 hours spent in Fallout 76 to finally start enjoying it. Bro, last video we talked about Fallout 76, people were attacking me. Oh, you only played Fallout 76 in total for 40 hours? Did you finish the end game? No? Did you finish every storyline? No? Well, then your opinion is irrelevant, because to judge this game, you need to do 100% of it. Bro, you're such an idiot. It's absolutely painful, honestly. The people who are... anyone who tells you you need to play a game more than 5 minutes to figure out is it good or bad is just coping, okay? There are plenty of games you can figure in 5 minutes will you like or not.
Region, and here we're finally going to be getting a vault story in Fallout 76. As you venture into Skyline Valley, your screen will be taken over by this new and unique weather effect that will impact the entire region. You can actually see things transition as you walk into the area. And throughout this region, you're going to find a ton of Vault 63 dwellers. But some of these vault dwellers are different. Now simply known as the Lost, most of these enemies will attack you on sight. You'll often find them simply patrolling around the region, but they also occupy several of the new settlements added. Nearly all of the Lost are wearing some type of robotic armor on top of their vault suit, and they even have this electric effect to them. In some locations, you could find feral variants of the Lost, which when killed will explode into a static cloud. And an explanation on
this is the worst animation ever.
Who these people are and what's all going on here can be found at Dark Hollow Manor. This is going to be one of the main locations of this new DLC, even featuring an option to fast travel directly inside of it. The exterior of this one looks absolutely amazing, like something straight out of a horror movie. There's a ton of visual effects from the weather, but it also is a...
It does look good, but this is recycled terrain from, I don't know what's it called, but the one where the water park is at the top of the map. These are the same ditches. They just put a little bit of red inside of them.
A largely destroyed landscape. It almost feels like you're in the middle of a nuke zone.
It
You'll
does
find
look
many members
good, though.
of the Lost on the outside, but the interior will also have them.
Wait.
You'll find many members of the Lost on the...
Yeah, this guy is just, you know, he's shooting at you from this angle right here, and the bullets going like, yeah. That seems right, that seems pretty accurate for the Fallout 76, I know.
Outside, but the interior will also have them. And the interior here in general is going to be pretty locked down. It seems like this is largely going to be due to it being in the testing period, because you can also just fast travel to the basement vault if you want to, but in the actual basement of this location, there is an intercom and a handprint scanner, so this is likely how we'll gain access the first time during the questline. But simply fast traveling to the interior will reveal that this is actually a part of Vault 63, and filled with a bunch of neutral members of the Lost, just Vault 63 dwellers. Several of these dwellers you're able to talk to. Sitting at the center is Hugo Stolz, the Vault 63 overseer. He has a few dialogue lines already, and his character is actually pretty interesting. He was a proper member of Vault Tech, serving on their board of directors, and via that he bought his way into being a Vault overseer, which was his true goal. Because Hugo didn't want to just survive the bombs, but he wanted to use a vault to experiment and advance society overall as well. There was just one...
Doesn't this go against the established the Fallout TV show? That's exactly what they wanted to do, and it doesn't... Oh my god! It's just... Nothing makes sense in this lore anymore. It's just crazy.
Major problem with that, perhaps due to its giant size or simply production delays, but Vault 63 was not completed on time, and it seems like the bombs dropping actually destroyed portions of this vault and very likely led to radiation exposure, which turned all of the dwellers into ghouls. So instead of trying to advance society, we hear how his new goal is trying to prevent feralization of ghouls. And if you speak to his daughter, who is a scientist in the vault, she'll even expand on this.
Oh no, wait, so they completely messed up the lore, but now they're gonna give you an explanation why Okay, so what, these guys are responsible? Okay, no, this makes absolutely no sense. Oh no, wait, is Fallout 76 happening before Fallout 3? No, when is this in the timeline? Because, so, okay, so you can, these guys, so they, essentially this establishes that there was no magical miracle cure for ghoul fertilization, as we see in the show. So there wasn't anything like that, so ghouls just magically didn't turn? Holy, the lore is just... Nothing makes sense in this lore anymore. It's a complete joke.
Fine, the quick version then. A few years after the bombs, our residents were fighting against going feral. A complete loss of their minds.
Okay, a few years. Okay, so yeah, nothing makes sense.
All of our research facilities pointed their efforts towards solving that. The weather machine included. By complete accident, we discovered that close proximity to the machine had a sort of reversing effect on the symptoms of feralization.
I honestly think this is an incredibly interesting topic for them to be debuting in Fallout right now, because we just heard about this really for the first time in the Fallout TV show. We see the ghoul in the Fallout TV show using some kind of chem to avoid turning feral. And there's an entire location in a super duper mart in the TV show where there are ghouls avoiding turning feral and some that already turned feral. But at the same time, this is a concept we've really yet to see explored extensively in a Fallout game. But it definitely sounds like this.
Bro, every every Bethesda Fallout shill is just completely ignoring that the ghouls got retconned. We haven't explored this because this has never been a thing. This is literally just a rando thing the show decided to do, and now everyone's going along with it. Dude, this is a complete retcon of lore. That's why we haven't explored it, because there's nothing to explore. It's not a real thing.
This DLC for Fallout 76 will be exploring that same topic.
Well, I guess now it is a real thing, don't get me wrong, but you get the point.
So you have to wonder if there's going to be a larger connection to the TV show here. Fallout 76 is the earliest game in the Fallout timeline, taking place just 25 years after the bombs drop. So any new lore that this game establishes, hypothetically, will also apply in the TV show. And while avoiding feralization is kind of their
hypothetically, it makes no sense. So, this is 20 years after the bombs fell? Again, let's put all the information that we have already together. 20 years after the bombs fell. But they just said that after the bombs fell, literally just a couple of years after that, implying 2 or 3. Or did she say 2 or 3? People started turning feral. So technically it's impossible for a ghoul to not turn feral. Every ghoul that we should encounter should be feral. The ghoul in the TV show should be feral, because there's no way he would have survived. Because if this is a CEO of Vault-Tec, not a CEO, but a board member of Vault-Tec, he would know about fertilization and a cure against fertilization if this was a thing. And there was some stuff, some lore hints or whatever, about ghouls existing also pre-war. I don't know, was that debunked or was what happened with that? But this means that they didn't know that ghouls are going to turn feral. Which means if people started turning feral 2 or 3 years after that, that means that 99.9% ghouls should be feral. Now, we could say that maybe Richard Dawkins' ghoul was special and could, survive 200 fucking years without the serum or whatever, but, still. This makes no sense. This makes absolutely no sense.
Simple Vault ideal and Vault goal right now, there's a lot more going on with Vault 63 and this plotline. All throughout this new region, you could find new locations that actually connect to Vault 63 and even add to its lore or whatever experiments going on. If you go to Vault 63 itself, it's now fully blown open. It's unclear how this exactly happened. The bombs didn't land directly in Appalachia, that's why it's such a luscious landscape, and it almost looks like the vault was destroyed from the inside, but obviously something caused the radiation exposure for all of these vault dwellers we could see. On the terminal you can find on the inside, you can see they mention a Vault 63 metro. It seems like this will be their in-world justification for creating what I think may be the biggest vault in all of the Fallout games, as Vault 63 seems to not only extend from its original location to Dark Hollow Manor, which on its own is giant, but you could also find access points to Vault 63 in this new weather control station further north and even Shining Creek further southeast. And if you map out this footprint, it really looks like Vault 63 is absolutely gigantic. Although again, there seems to be some kind of metro that will connect individual spots. It appears the Vault 63 dwellers themselves were able to survive by harnessing lightning. There are several new lightning harvester locations scattered around Shenandoah, and at many of these—
What does that even mean, survive by harnessing lightning? The fuck? Did they get blessed by Zeus?
you'll find the Lost, although some just have super mutants instead, and it seems like lightning and weather control will be major themes of this story, but right off the bat they were using lightning to prevent or at least slow down fertilization. That's what gives the Lost their shocking appearance. And of course, this will also likely tie to that weather control station. This is another location that is fairly locked down in the PTS. There's not that much to find here, but it'll very likely play a large role in the overarching story. Within, you can see it does directly connect to Vault 63, and in general provides a really great view of the surrounding area. But the weather control station is the location of this new boss fight as well, with neurological warfare. This will trigger just by nuking the weather control station, and the boss fight will take place on top on the roof. This is a really cool boss fight. These Star Wars-esque shields will actually dynamically break up the location. They'll be constantly turning on and off. But the core of the fight are these 3 Storm Goliaths that will exit to fight you. There's going to be some other minor enemies scattered around as well, but the Storm Goliaths look absolutely incredible. I love the design of these guys. It's basically a giant...
This is probably, unironically, the best looking design Bethesda has ever done, though. That's kind of cool.
Robot with an equally giant brain in the center, effectively a gigantic version of a robo brain that also looks a lot cooler. There are a variety of attacks that they can use against you, but in typical boss fight fashion, it's kind of just dodge the big one and then try and attack them as consistently as possible. And even the death animation on the Storm Goliaths is really cool and pretty unique compared to a lot of the other boss fights where they pretty much just ragdoll. The fight itself is simple, and honestly on the PTS it might be a little bit too easy. I hope it's turned up at least slightly, but design-wise and just stylistically, this is probably my favorite boss fight in Fallout 76 right now. It's a
I mean, there's no point to having this giant arena, though, is there? Honestly.
Really cool one. But as far as what a Storm Goliath is, or how these were created, or even who created them, I have no idea right now. Of course, this will be explored during that major quest line. In general, there is weather control going on. This entire region has a different visual, but it's not really clear which faction is actually trying to do this. Is this a government operation that was going on before the war, or this is just an effort by the Vault 63 dwellers to help themselves? In addition to the boss fight, this update will also come with a new public event in the region. So now, just as you play Fallout 76, this event will occasionally spawn on a timer. Dangerous Pastimes will kick off with a bunch of locals basically wanting you to put on a show. They want you to activate the local power station and have it react with the weather effects for a cool visual. And like, yeah, literally, that's the premise of the event. A bunch of dudes hiding behind this door paid money to see something cool in the sky, so we have to activate it and risk our lives in the process. The first phase of this event involves you picking up harvester parts and installing them on the lightning harvester itself. And once done, waves of enemies will begin to spawn, and you'll simply need to kill them to charge up the harvester for the show. And really, all throughout the event, a bunch of lost...
No, but seriously, how some 76 defenders are like, oh, did you play all the events where they're all the fucking same, where you just defend against hordes of enemies? Did you play them? If not, you can't speak about the game because you haven't... God, I hate that.
Dwellers will spawn and attack
so
you,
dumb.
but in the second phase you'll definitely have more enemies, as well as these power armored boss tier Lost Dwellers will spawn as well. These guys are using a new type of power armor that will also be implemented with this larger update, so we can get it for ourselves. Overall, it definitely is a simple event, but it's incredibly action-packed. There's a ton of enemies attacking you from all sides, as well as some of them being tougher and easier, and I honestly found it to be quite a bit of fun, even though it is relatively simple in concept. And the last major Vault 63 connected location will be the Shining Creek Cavern. You'll enter into a surprisingly vibrant cave that also has a bunch of creatures within. It seems like something's causing a lot more life to be here. On some of the terminals, you'll discover that Vault 63 dwellers were investigating a gas leak that was here, but within, you'll find a fully fledged research facility that too connects to Vault 63. There's all kinds of experiments going on, but without the questline to explain it all, you're really just left to infer what you're seeing, but it seems like this may be one of the original experiments of Vault 63. Although, with how expansive this vault is, perhaps there were actually several experiments at Vault 63 at the same time. As well as in this, there's this new creature placed. It seems like this was part of one of the experiments, and I wouldn't be shocked if this is going to be a surprise new cryptid from this update. There's some other notes in the region that mention a feeling of being watched, which makes me think that another new creature may be out there. Beyond just these locations, you'll find the Lost all over this new region, as well as they will hold several of their own settlements. You could find them near this mysterious government airdrop that cannot be accessed right now, and at this location you could even see them begging to be saved. And some of the Lost will even use this new two-handed melee weapon that also will be implemented as a new weapon that we could get for ourselves in this DLC. But one of the really cool parts about this story is what else it connects to. As quite clearly...
So, it had one more enemy type. I guess that's it? And a boss. Okay.
Vault 63 is going to be the cornerstone of this new DLC, but there's a lot of other factions that will connect here. An entirely new communist base can be found in Shenandoah as well. This is a fully manned base with a ton of communist soldiers and even some robots. It seems like they will too play a role.
And they're not the good guys? What the hell, Bethesda?
Role in this larger quest line. You can find notes here mentioning how they are training more soldiers and recruiting and even attacking some of the nearby settlements. You can see the training facilities on site, including several with arrows piercing local wasteland inhabitants.
Wow.
I don't want to spoil anything, but there actually is a pretty dark justification for there being a full-fledged communist settlement in the middle of Appalachia. Although odd, it does make quite a bit of sense. Camp Rapidan is here.
I'm sure it does, Juice. I'm sure it does. Like everything else in Fallout at this point. I'm sure it makes perfect sense at the end if you don't think about it.
It's a real-life location built for the president and shares that history in Fallout 76. So you'll find a bunch of Mr. Handys maintaining the grounds, waiting for the president's arrival. And from some of these, you could even get some backstory at the president's residence, which does have a secret bunker within. So now I'm not necessarily saying
surprising.
the Enclave's going to be a part of this DLC, but yeah, it definitely looks like the Enclave might be connected to this DLC as well. You have to imagine.
Okay, my only question is how much is this going to cost? Is this going to be free? There's no way Bethesda gives you something like free, right?
They could play a role in this broader weather control plotline. But in general, this is a really cool location with a ton to explore and discover. I can see this being a huge spot for placing camps and building in the future. There's an old mine in the region taken over by some Mothman cultists. And this is a huge location. The actual interior of this mine has quite a bit to explore and find. It's definitely one of the largest cultist encampments in Fallout 76 overall. And this seems almost like a darker breed of cultists. You'll find a variety of prisoners and perhaps even some darker things within, but via some notes you could find in this mine, you'll discover that the cultists also will have a direct connection with Vault 63 and play a role in this plotline. It's not entirely clear how large of a role they'll play, but I feel like this is something we've been asking for ages, and at the very least they'll play a minor role, which is great to me. There's a new Blue Ridge caravan spot that was already destroyed by some new enemies known as the Thrashers. These new enemies are mutated turkeys that have a variety of attacks they can use against you, a basic peck attack, some
2 new enemies! What a time to be alive!
unique jumping animation, as well as this area of effect attack. I really like these guys. It's a minor addition, but it makes Shenandoah just feel a bit
They look buggy as fuck though.
more special and unique, which, speaking of, Bethesda definitely did not forget that Shenandoah is a real-world national park. So some of the iconic parts of that national park are included here as well. Notably the Grindstone Arch, which is now taken over by super mutants and has some lore behind it, but there's a bunch more places as well. You'll find watchtowers, one belonging to the Blood Eagles, a faction from a past DLC, but another that was jointly being used by both the settlers and raiders before it ended up getting destroyed. And even a trading post with a new robot vendor.
Wow, that's so impressive. Anyway, I think we're done. Well, anyway, that was Juicehead. Congratulations, boys. Fallout lore is getting worse. Man, what a time to be alive. Anyway, this is Squizzer Sid said. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.